Here's the truth. Some of the best storage deals you will ever buy will never hit a broker's desk, LoopNet, Crexy. They are tucked away, oftentimes hiding in plain sight, sometimes in an old mailbox, sometimes even in a conversation or at a networking event, sometimes in the Rolodex of someone you already know. And yes, I have just dated myself by saying Rolodex. That's why I'm doing this 6-part series on the 16 ways to find off-market self-storage deals, because once you master just one or two of these strategies, you're never going to be at the mercy of an overpriced listed deal ever again, and you will be able to control your destiny and the outcome that you desire. So far, here's what we've covered in episodes 12 and 13. We covered the rent gap sniper method, one of my favorite ways. We covered the hidden gems Google Maps method, cold calling, driving for dollars, working with wholesalers, and storage Facebook group. Now, here's the thing. Super, super important that you understand this. All 6 of these strategies work. In fact, all 16 of the ways that I am going to uncover in this 6-part series work. Here's the key. Do not try to do them all together. You can certainly do them all. You just can't do them all at the same time. My encouragement for you is to pick 1 or 2 strategies that fit your personality, your strengths, your skill sets, your situation, and go all in consistently. That is the key word. That is the operative word here. You need to be consistent. All of these marketing strategies and channels work. The question is, are you going to work? This is exactly what our Storage Wins coaching clients are doing on a day-to-day basis to generate leads, connect and have meaningful conversations with storage owners, get these facilities under contract, and ultimately closing on them. It's how you go from no deals to your first facility in the next 6 to 12 months. Now, one of the questions I always get from people is, hey, Alex, what's working for you today? What's the latest and greatest marketing strategy? I'm going to disappoint you. They all work. The question is, which one has the least amount of resistance for you that fit your personality, like I said, your skill sets, and what you are going to do consistently? Whatever that is for you, I encourage you to just lean into that. So I want to go ahead now and transition and give you 3 additional ways and strategies to find off-market storage deals. By the end of this episode, you will now have 9 out of the 16. And over the course of the next week or so, you're going to have all 16 strategies. Then you're going to be able to focus and pick 1 or 2. So the first strategy I'm going to cover here is probably one of the ones that has been most responsible for the deals that I have closed, and it is an old school, but it is tried and true method. It is direct mail. Yes, direct mail. Now, direct mail, to give you a little bit of context, has been responsible for hundreds and hundreds of real estate deals that I have closed over the course of many, many years, and it's probably been responsible for now 3 self-storage deals that I have bought. And mail feels very tangible in an otherwise digital world. Everything is going online. But here's the thing. Our typical mom and pop storage owner is in their 60s and 70s. They are very familiar and comfortable with direct mail. Storage owners are older, and as a result, they check their mail every single day. And so I want to challenge any limiting beliefs you might have about the fact that direct mail is super old school. I'm not telling you to go to the yellow pages. That doesn't work. That is dated. Direct mail is not dated. I'm telling you, direct mail still works. Now, let me share with you a few best practices, okay? I like small targeted lists. When I was a wholesaler in the single family space, there was one season of our business, one period where we were sending between 30 and 40,000 postcards a month. My direct mail bill was about 10 grand a month on average. We were sending that much mail. And the reason we were sending mail was because we were getting deals from it. And one deal back then represented about $20,000 for us. The good news here with storage is that one deal represents significantly more than 20 grand. And so I like to, if you're just starting out, start with a small targeted list. I remember when I first got into storage, I set a goal for myself that I was going to send out 100 letters a week. Okay, I was basically sending out 20 to 25 letters a day. Now, what I was doing was I was methodically building my list using some of the strategies that I had previously shared with you. And then I would have my virtual assistant clean up the list. And then we would basically send those off to our direct mail fulfillment company, along with a letter that has also been responsible for several storage deals. And every single week, like clockwork, we were getting about 100 letters out, and your phone is going to start to ring. So I would encourage you to start small. Do not feel like you need to send out thousands and thousands and thousands of letters to start. I mean, you can focus on 100 to 500 facilities initially. That's going to be a relatively inexpensive direct mail campaign. Here's the key. It's not so much about the quantity of mailers that you're sending. It's more about the consistency over time. So I would encourage you to put these on a rotation of sending mail every 5 to 6 weeks to the same list. Now, here's the key. Don't just send the same exact mail piece. You wanna personalize it. You wanna mix the formats. So I like using letters over postcards. I like handwritten envelopes. I'm gonna give you a ninja strategy right now that a lot of people don't even think about or know, is use a forever stamp and then add like 2 or 3 1-cent stamps. Why would you do that? By the way, I like to use a 5x7 invitation style envelope, like a manila color, handwritten font on the outside. And there's a lot of direct mail fulfillment companies out there that now literally have machines that will hold a pen and do the handwritten for you. Now, it does come at a little bit of a premium in cost, but in my opinion, it's worth it. If you don't have the budget for that, you can certainly use what appears to be handwritten font. I've tested black, blue, and red. Red seems to work best for me. I always use a forever stamp, and then when possible, add a few penny stamps to it. Why? Think about if you were to receive a letter that looks like it was handwritten in an invitation style envelope that had several stamps. That's likely going to get your attention. And your goal with the exterior of your mail piece is just to get them to open it. You don't want it to end up in the trash like a lot of the other mailers. And I've had so much success with this throughout the years. So these are just some of the things that work. Now, when it comes to the letter itself, you want to personalize it. If you can skip trace the list, in other words, if you can get the list, find out the phone number and the name of the person that owns it or the entity that owns it, I like to personalize it. We'll actually include a link to the service that I like to use when it comes to skip tracing. Or if you guys just head over to storagewins.com/skip, storagewins.com/skip, SKIP, you can get access to the same exact service that I use to skip trace the list that we find. And this works for single family. Obviously, I use it for storage, but it pretty much works across the board. So there have been so many people that I have helped buy deals with direct mail. I have bought numerous deals with direct mail. And this is something that, like, here's the key. You want to do at least 5 to 7 touch points. In other words, call your direct mail fulfillment company, send them the list and say, hey, listen, these are the direct mail pieces I once sent out every 5 to 6 weeks. And I just set it and forget it. If possible, I would encourage you to just pay for it in advance, so that you literally do it once and then you don't have to worry about it again. You know that every single 5 to 6 weeks, you got a new piece being sent out, and this is going to get the phone to ring. Now, on average, I would say if you can get a 1% response rate, 2% response rate, you're doing solid. When I first got started in real estate, 2% response rate was like a bad day. That was like a bad campaign. We used to get like 5 to 10% response rate, in some cases a lot higher. Times have changed, and so if you can get a 1 to 2% response rate, that's pretty decent, right? So in other words, if you were to send out 100 mailers, you're probably going to get 1 or 2 calls. Now, I think it's really, really important that you drive them to a phone number where if you're not able to pick up, it captures the caller ID. It captures the phone number calling. Make sure that you're driving them to a dedicated phone number. You can use something like CallRail, callrail.com. RAIL. You'll get a dedicated phone number. And then this way, you're guaranteed to not miss a call. You'll leave a dedicated voicemail in case you're not able to reach it. And you can even have it set up in CallRail where it forwards to another phone number or to another voicemail that might have some specific instructions for the person. So there's a lot of different things you can do. The purpose of this episode isn't to go like a mile deep when it comes to direct mail. That's probably going to be a future episode. But these are the kinds of campaigns that I'm walking our Storage Wins coaching community members and clients step by step inside of our program so that they exactly know what to send and how to track it. By the way, one quick mention, this direct mail campaign I'm talking to you about was responsible for a $150,000 net profit wholesale deal. It was a storage facility that the lady kept my letter for a 2-year period and called me when she was finally ready to sell. I was able to put it under contract for $400,000, found the buyer for $550,000. It was net 150 grand. It came from a simple direct mail letter campaign. So if people tell me direct mail doesn't work, I would tell them that my experience, my results, and the results of some others I work with would disprove that theory. So let's move on now to the second strategy, which I believe this would be number 8 in the series so far. The most important, valuable capital you could possibly raise. It's not money. It's not finances. It's not raising private money like most people talk about. It is relationship capital. So that is the most valuable capital you can raise. In fact, I was invited to speak to a community of storage investors about a couple years ago, and my entire talk was about raising the most valuable capital, and that was relationship capital. Deals flow to people who are trusted, known, and are top of mind. So you need to be very, very methodical and intentional about building a list of people that you want to go deep with and then building that relationship capital. Don't call people and ask them how you can help. Just help them. Figure out how you can contribute, how you can give, how you can serve, how you can add value. I mean, this is at the heart of the culture of the Storage Wins community. So much so that we have a process designed inside of our private members only community where people hashtag the word give in caps and just share on a very consistent basis. We have members reaching out and sharing certain things that are working for them that they probably wouldn't put out in the general public, because that's the type of culture we have. And it's because I value relationship capital. I value contribution, giving. The laws of reciprocation will always tip back in your favor when you give and you serve without the expectation of something in return. Now, when it comes to best practices, when you're talking to people, end the conversation with, hey, do you know anybody that owns a storage facility or that might consider selling? In fact, when we speak to mom and pop storage owners, if they're not interested in selling, we always ask, hey, do you mind if I touch base with you in the future in case anything changes? But one of the questions I always end with is, I'll compliment them. Hey, listen, clearly you're experienced, you're successful, you've been in the storage industry for a long time. You probably know other storage owner operators. My wife and I are looking to buy a facility. Is there anybody that you might be able to think of that might consider selling their storage facilities? I am telling you, when I ask this question, I would say I probably get about a 30 to 40% hit rate or success rate, where they say, yeah, I think I heard, ABC Mini Storage down the road or across town is thinking of selling. Why don't you reach out to them? It is a free lead. It is a free opportunity. And I will plant the seed with that person that if I'm able to buy it, I'll give them some type of marketing fee. Now, make sure, obviously, depending on what state you're in, that you're following the laws. Consult with the pros, because I am not an attorney. This is an experience share. So take that with a grain of salt. But you always want to ask. You want to be top of mind. You want to make sure that people understand and know that you're a storage investor, that you're looking to buy storage deals. I'm fortunate in that I talk about storage a lot. So from time to time, in fact, I had a buddy last week who went, he's from Miami. He went hunting for elk and somewhere in the West Coast. I don't know if it was Oregon. I forget where on the West Coast he was, but on the drive, he was texting me pictures of mom and pop storage owners. That's because of the relationship capital that was built and the fact that he knows me, he trusts me, he sees storage, he thinks of me, he knows that if I end up buying a facility, I'll take care of him. And I've contributed and shared and I've given to him. And so connect with people, share resources, be a funnel for valuable information that you hear. Like if this podcast resonates or this video resonates with you, then share with somebody who you think might benefit. And think long-term, right? Don't be transactional. Don't chase the deal, but build relationships so that you just build a strong network of people that know, like, and trust you and that you can lean on, and they can lean on you, right? That's what it's all about. I think of Kate in our Storage Wins community, who was very focused and intentional about building meaningful relationships within the community, so much so that another member in our community got a great deal and could have gone to probably 30 to 40 successful storage owners that he knows, that he personally knows own storage, but he decided to work with Kate and give her an opportunity to buy her first facility because she built a relationship, because she gave and contributed and built confidence in him that she would follow through and close. Same thing with Mario, right? Another member in our community had a storage facility. It was Mario's first deal. I remember him being hesitant. Hey, should I give Mario this opportunity? Because I don't know if he's going to be able to get it over the finish line. And because he had built a relationship with him over a period of time, he gave him the opportunity. Mario closed, got his first deal. Same thing with Casey, who bought his first facility 91 days after joining our community. 6 months after that, bought his second facility. 2 months after that, bought his third facility. And it was because he went driving for dollars. He picked up the phone, called the storage owner, met them in person, built a relationship, ended up structuring 3 seller finance deals just because of the power of putting yourself out there, prioritizing, building meaningful relationships. Okay. Last thing I'll share with you here, make sure that you keep track of this in a very simple Google spreadsheet or CRM. Do not overcomplicate CRMs. I don't want you spending too much time in there, but I do want you to track them so that you can follow up and you can put them in your nurture cycle. In other words, you can email them in an autoresponder series that happens automatically. You can touch base with them, follow up with them so that when you're sleeping, when you're traveling, when you're hanging out with your kids or your family, you have your system touching people. It's what we call in marketing touch. Most conversions happen after multiple touch points. And speaking of conversions, I want to transition on to the third strategy for this particular episode, which is number 9 in the series, and it is networking. Why networking? Well, because it is my core belief. In fact, I just finished talking to our Storage Wins community on our weekly group coaching call about this. It is my core belief that conversions happen when you have conversations. And guess what? Conversations lead to conversions. Conversions lead to contracts. Contracts lead to closings, and closings lead to cash and cash flow. So pretty much every C you can think of fits in here, right? Conversations, conversions, contracts, closings, cash, and cash flow. 6 C's. I should figure out some unique 6C naming method here with this strategy, but I'll just dial it back and just call it good old fashioned networking, connecting. And honestly, this ties into relationship capital and building these meaningful relationships. So here are some places that you can go. Now, I wanna channel a coach of mine that's always encouraging me to get out there. It is so easy and comfortable and convenient to work from home or your office or stay behind the laptop or computer, stay behind the phone pressed to your cheek and just not getting out there, meeting people, as they say, kissing babies and pressing palms, right? Shaking hands, meeting people. I want to encourage you at least once a month, get yourself out there, right? Check out BNI. I think it's called BNI.com, which is, I believe it stands for Business Networking International. BNI is a phenomenal organization because you can join your local chapter. And the cool thing about BNI is that they will only allow one person in each chapter per industry. So you might be the only storage person in there. In fact, I would probably venture to guess you're likely to be the only storage person in there. But here's what sets BNI apart from other organizations. Their job and aim is to send you referrals and to help you grow your business. And in turn, you're going to be in there with a realtor, with a plumber, with an electrician. And when you hear of somebody that needs an electrician or a plumber, you're meant to drive business to them and make referrals. So BNI is a great one. We just finished the SSA conference, National Self-Storage Association. I wasn't able to attend it, but great place to connect with other storage owner operators. Obviously, if you have a local real estate investors association. Now, those are primarily driven for the single family world. But if you're the storage owner, be known as a storage person, right? Get out there. Make sure people understand that you're looking for storage. Storage is sexy. People are interested in this asset class. So get out there and make it known. There's local chamber of commerce. There's other associations locally that you might be able to join. There's the EO, right? Entrepreneurs Organization, where you can be the storage person in there. So get out there, network with people, prepare your storage buy box. If you guys go to storagewins.com/storage avatar, storagewins.com/storage avatar, you can get my buy box template so that it helps you build your own. And that way, when someone asks you what you do, don't just say, hey, I'm a real estate investor, right? That's what everybody does, but be specific. Like, hey, I buy mom and pop storage facilities between 15 and 40,000 net rentable square feet in small but growing towns. Like, that is memorable. That's going to cut through the clutter. That's very specific, direct. It's going to stand out versus something super generic like I'm a real estate investor or I buy houses or some lame approach like that, right? So make sure that when you meet people, I love the next day to record like a 15, 20, 30-second video selfie, and I will text it to them. Why? Because I want them to remember the face to the name. And I want to do what most people are not willing to do, which is go above and beyond and actually follow up with them. So don't just like bump iPhones, collect a digital card and then not follow up with that person, or if you're still collecting actual business cards, but follow up 24 hours later, send them a message, send them a text, send them a video, which is what I like to do. Hey, it was great to meet you here. I look forward to building building a relationship with you. And by the way, you mentioned in conversation that this is one of the things you were focused on. Like, check out this resource that I think could be valuable for you. Or let me make an introduction or a connection to this person who I think might be able to help you because I think there might be some synergies. That is just one way to approach it, but that is going above and beyond. That is giving and contributing for the sake of giving and contributing because it's cool, it feels good. You want to help that person ideally. And again, don't worry about if anything comes back to you. Don't even ask for anything. When I meet somebody, I want to say I never ask for anything because I don't know that person. So why should they do something for me? But be the person that does something for them. Do that consistently and watch what happens. So listen, so far, I'm going to put a wrap to this one. We have covered 9 ways over the last 3 series, 3 episodes, 3 videos here. And we have, if my math serves me, 7 more to go. So we got another 2-part series coming here where we're going to dive deeper into additional ways to find mom and pop off-market storage deals. I don't want you to do these all at the same time. I just want you to pick 1 or 2 that resonate with you. Go deep on these and I'll connect with you on the next one. So look, if this has been helpful for you, I would encourage you, make sure that you're subscribed to the Storage Wins podcast. Make sure that you're plugged in and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you get notified every single week with new episodes that come out and fresh content. And if you're one of the crazies that want to pursue this and want to buy your first storage facility within the next 6 months, I'd love to help. Head over to storagewins.com. Book a free 10-minute discovery call. On that call, we'll talk about where you're at, where you want to go, see if the Storage Wins community is even a fit for you. So make sure that you're plugged in, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next one. Take care.